Hello, my name is Gautam Shah. I am a Chief Technologist at Applied Information Sciences, and in this mini video series on Applied Generative AI, today we'll be going over embeddings and how to use them with OpenAI. First, we will understand the fundamentals of embeddings, why they are important, and what role would they play in developing solutions with OpenAI when you need to use your enterprise private data? And then finally, go through an example quickly on creating, storing, and using embeddings for developing OpenAI solutions with enterprise private data. So, what are embeddings? Embeddings really are a numerical representation of semantic meaning of any piece of information. That information could be text, image, audio, video, and the numerical representation is a vector of floating point numbers. So let's take an example. Here is an embedding, text embedding for the word computer. Here is the text embedding for the word keyboard. If you notice, the first column of the vector, the first value of the first column of the vector, are rather close to each other. Negative 0.004, 9 is much closer, is close to negative 0.0045. The embedding for the word lattice is, as you can notice, is farther away. It's negative 0.007. So why are embeddings important? Embeddings are really the building blocks. They are the essential parts of the large language models like the various OpenAI GPT models. In fact, the GPT models, 1, 2, 3, what have you, have all been built on embeddings. They have been the embeddings that were created were on publicly available data, publicly available information. So then if you had your enterprise data and you want to develop solutions, OpenAI solutions using enterprise data, embeddings are important, but how would you go about using them? So there are various patterns for achieving this. That's things like fine tuning, plugging, training models from scratch. Each one of them has its challenges. For example, fine tuning is only available for models for GPT models prior to 4.0, whereas, say, training a model from scratch is quite expensive because of the types of skills required as well as the infrastructure needs for training a large model from scratch. One of the most pragmatic, effective, and efficient approach when developing solutions using OpenAI with enterprise data is a RAG pattern or retrieval augmentation pattern. Now, for using embeddings in any of these patterns, you first need to create embeddings. Embeddings can be created in various ways. You can use Azure OpenAI, you can use a regular OpenAI account. You would need to get the API key for it. You can also create embeddings without using Azure OpenAI or OpenAI, something like World 2Vec or some along those lines. It could be very cost effective for certain use cases, but if you need to use if you need to develop your solutions using OpenAI, you're better off using or creating the embeddings using OpenAI. So how do you go about doing that? Once you have the account and the API key, you need to make a REST call to your Azure OpenAI instance. Or if you're using OpenAI, you make a REST call to this particular URI, supplying the input text for which you want to create embedding, and supplying the model. The ADA2 model is the most popular for creating embeddings for text-based model. And the response for that particular REST call returns a JSON that has embedding values in it. Once you have the embeddings, you need to store those embeddings. There are various solutions available out there. R- Some are open source, like Quadrant, which you can host it in your own compute, or you can use Azure Cognitive Services, which is a PaaS offering from Microsoft, or you can use other offerings like Milvus. So you have created your embeddings, you have stored your embeddings, now you want to use it. So for a given piece of query, you would first search your vector store to retrieve the text that is similar to your query from your vector store, and then you would infuse that into your prompts that you send to the OpenAI. This particular approach of using embeddings that allows infusing your enterprise private data in developing solutions with OpenAI is really called the RAG pattern, or the retrieval augmentation pattern. So, what did we cover? We covered what are embeddings, the importance of those, the various patterns and limitations, and then finally how to use them in a RAG or retrieval augmentation pattern. We'll soon be also sharing a video on deep dive video on how to use these embeddings with OpenAI with real examples. Thank you for watching.